Good morning, fellow drivers. We are on our way to Cars and Coffee once again. I had a really hard time dragging myself out of bed this morning, and my alarm kind of like integrated its way into my dream before I fully woke up. So that was a little weird. But I'm excited to be out here. It's almost the new year. I'm recording this on the 31st, and it's a cool cloudy, misty day out, which I actually really enjoy. So for those of you not in California, no, it is not always bright and sunshine in California. I currently do not have power steering, so that's a problem that just recently happened, and we're gonna have to get that checked out. I don't know exactly what's wrong. I think probably all the fluid leaked out, but I don't really know. Maybe it needs new, who knows what. Anyway, given the new year, I wanted to reflect a little bit back on the previous year. I believe this is our 14th vlog, plus a few other videos that I brought out. So I want to thank you for staying with me and watching them. It's been a lot of fun. I know that my videos have progressed quite a bit since the first one I put out for you guys, and I want to thank you for watching them, and I hope that you enjoy them. That being said, beyond the videos, 2016 was not the greatest for me. So I'm going to stick with that theme for right now and talk about the top 5 things I don't like about the MR2. Now, the MR2 is an awesome car, and I didn't purposely make this video clickbaity, okay? But, you know, as cool as the MR2 is, like any car, there are things that aren't perfect, okay? In some ways, it's just kind of a product of its time, and although it was really ahead of time in areas like its styling, in other ways, you can really tell that it's kind of an older car from the 90s. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Number 1, highway cruising. Yes, that's exactly what I'm doing right now. Now, this isn't like the end of the world. Obviously, I drive on the highway all the time. But it is definitely not what the MR2 was meant for. The gearing is quite low, and it is quite loud in here. Now, I will be talking about these things somewhat in general about the MR2, but also specific to my MR2, okay? So I have to tell you, even at stock, without any kind of modifications, highway cruising is not really the MR2's specialty. It's quite loud inside compared to your average car, and if you've put an exhaust on it like I have, it's even more loud. Now my exhaust does have silencers, which are kind of cool, that I can pop in, and it makes it almost quieter than stock, which is pretty impressive. But honestly, I don't use it that much because there is a reason I got an exhaust. But as you're going down the highway, it can be quite loud. It's geared low, another thing contributing to the sound, also giving you pretty bad fuel economy. Hold that thought. Coming up to a toll road. Anyway, so highway cruising is not really what it's down for because it gets noisy, it gets bad fuel economy. Number 2, that would be the shift boot, okay? And although I'm going down the road here, you're probably looking at the shift boot because I put that in there because I'm a magician. But yeah, the shift boot, as you can see, is just kind of worn, and you might say, well, this happens to any car, things wear out. But on the MR2, this is a known issue. Where the shift boot just gets these little holes in it, and it just gets ratty pretty quickly. This is not even the original one that the car came with, although it is the OEM one, and it looks like this already. So The thing is, it's not real leather. It gets scrunched up a lot. I don't know. It just doesn't last. It doesn't look good. And this is actually a good reminder of me to get a nice real leather shift boot and put it on there. But that being said, that's not even as easy as it might be in some other cars, because it has this kind of unique frame piece that goes around it that you'll then need to attach the new shift boot to and then put it in there. And unlike some cars, it doesn't have a trim piece that fits over everything. The shift boot is actually kind of what's setting on top, and it's just tucked underneath that frame piece. So you have to make sure you fit it on really perfectly. Number 3. So it can be hard to get parts for the car. Okay? Now, if you know where to look, there are good resources out there. And back when the MR2 was new, there was actually quite good support for the 3S GT motor, and they made a certain amount of other supporting chassis and suspension products for it from other companies. That being said, the car is very old now, and it's hard to find parts for it if you don't know where to look, especially considering the fact that you have things like the Integra and the Civic, which just have almost unlimited support out there, even for an older car, or compared to newer cars like the WRX that get continued development from multiple manufacturers. And the MR2 is just more difficult to find good quality parts for. It can even be difficult to get some OEM replacement parts just for repairs. This wasn't a problem so much even like 5 years ago, but now it can be difficult to get some things from the dealer. So when you're talking about maintaining an older car, that is something to consider. Number 4, I can't rotate my tires. Now, this is a sacrifice you have to make for a number of high-performance cars, but the MR2 has a staggered wheel setup, and for those of you who don't know what that means, it means that the rear wheels are actually wider than the front wheels. So this does not allow you to rotate your tires to get optimal wear on all of them, meaning you have to buy tires sooner. Now, again, this is kind of a sacrifice you have to make with a lot of high-performance cars. Also, if you have directional tread on anything, that can be an issue. So it just means that it's a more expensive car to maintain over time. So I don't really mind that too much, but it is a downside to the car, and I think certainly deserves a spot on the 5 worst things about the MR2. Number 5, there are no cup holders. Now, this is probably the most well-known thing to the MR2 as far as being a downside. I've seen a lot of creative solutions for this. People will get those things that wedge into the middle of the seat to be a cup holder. I've seen kind of clever custom ones people make that actually fit into part of the dash and will pop up and flip over. But they sell for crazy expensive, like $150 for a cup holder. People also just say that like their passenger is a cup holder and things like that. That being said, I don't like food and drink in my car anyway. Not even just the MR2, but cars in general. I don't really like food in them. But having a cup holder would be convenient in some situations, even if just for a water bottle. And I'm about to go through the toll booth. It's gonna beep. I don't even know if that beep showed up on camera, but anyway, or you could hear it on camera. So my solution, I actually have a water bottle right here, and I'll show you this in a clip that I'll put in now, is to actually put it here beside the seat right next to the seat belt buckle. And if you have some type of drink with a lid on it, that works really well. I've done it with the standard water bottle size. I've also done it with a Camelback reusable water bottle that I have. So those are the top 5 things that I think are the worst things about the MR2. Let me know if you agree. Comment below what you think are some of the worst things about the MR2 if you disagree. And with that, ooh, crazy Miata with big over fenders. With that, let's check out what else is here.
Letting go, times we might feel compelled. Looking down from the heights that we have built all by ourselves. And there is fear of the unknown, but we cannot lose control when we feel like the world is against.
Well, it was kind of as expected, a really low turnout. It's raining and holidays. But kind of even smaller than I thought, but we'll take a look around.
Hold on to what only makes us hurt. We cannot sink into the dark. The vertigo is getting sharp. There's something that we must reach for.
Is he friendly?
And then
Corey, say hi, brothers. Go say hi.
I drive it first.
Oh, you want to say hi? Into the infinite that we must reach.
It's Targa out here.
To the infinite that we must reach. Into the infinite that we must reach. Into the infinite that we must reach. Now which way do we go is the question to ask.
Brings a new meaning to the phrase hot hatch.
It's hard not to look past what is real and what is fake, and the risk we have to take. Will we know?
So this is normally easily the best Cars and Coffee you can go to. I mean, if you've seen my other videos, there's some crazy things that show up here. But this is not just me being full of myself. I think this time my MR2 might literally be the most interesting thing out here. And that's not a good thing. Got a row of G8. That's actually kind of cool. Sort of a popular thing for people to do with the G8 and Chevrolet SS is actually rebadge them with the Holden badge, which is an Australian brand, because it's just GM's Australian brand.
Into the infinite that we must reach. Into the infinite that we must reach. Letting go, times we might feel compelled. Looking down from the heights that we have built all by ourselves. And there is fear of the unknown, but we cannot lose control when we feel like the world is against us. We're trying to find ourselves without the defining words. We can no longer hold on to what only makes us hurt. We cannot think.
Right, well, that is about it. Still not a bad way to spend Saturday morning. And I think it's probably time to go get some food and then maybe take a nap after. Alright, so there's one more thing we need to do today with the MR2, other than taking out to an empty Cars and Coffee. And that is my lugs. You can see some of them have these little caps on them here, and some of these are missing. And I don't know if that happened from them just falling off, or if some nefarious person actually removed them. So I'm gonna hope that it was someone who stole them. That might sound weird, but the side seems to be all good. And if it was someone who actually removed them, then I know I don't have to worry about them falling off. So, in here, I got a Christmas gift, and these are the replacements. So, let's go ahead and snap these in. So you can see that they come with this little tool that actually fits into the top of them. They have these little slots. And the way they fit into the lug nuts are with threads. So, let's go ahead and give this a try. There we go. As easy as that. Let's go ahead and do it for the rest of them.
Giving up, letting go. Times we might feel compelled. Looking down from the heights that we.
Alright, next wheel. So fortunately it looks like this one is only missing 3 of them. Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous that this is even a problem. But you know what they say, more money, more problems. If I had the OEM lugs or some cheap lugs that weren't these lightweight hollow Project Kicks ones, I wouldn't have this issue. But hey, I am happy to deal with this. Awesome. We're good to go. See you next week.
That we must reach.
Yeah, I know this is random. It's something to do with cars, but catching a Venusaur.